social media is ablaze with misinformation and disinformation and extremist views. We try and get some perspective by speaking to Mohammad Kabiya, a strategic consultant on the Middle East. Welcome, Mohammad.
Hey, good evening. Thank you for having me.
How did you personally react to the terror attack on Israel on 7 October?
So bad. Horrible. What's happened in October 7th was a barbarian attack. Is not by human people. It's by, I don't know how to define them. The terrorists of Hamas, of the new ISIS, they invaded to the villages of Israel, the kibbutzim in south of Israel, and they killed, murdered, raped, slaughtered babies, women, and old men, just because they are Israelis. And not only Jewish people, also Arab, Muslims, Bedouins. They murdered more than 1,400 people, Jews and Bedouins, Muslims. What they did for the Israelis is like what ISIS did for the Syrian people and for the Yazidis women in Iraq. And we here in Israel, we can't to understand and to believe to what happened. And the same time, when Israel extend her hand to the Palestinian people, while at least 100,000 people from the West Bank, Palestinian from the West Bank, they coming entire to Israel to work, to worship, and to visit the holy places. These terrorists killed and murdered babies and women here in Israel.
Now, how do you feel about Israel's response, its military action?
Israel will do everything to protect her citizens. We will destroy the terror infrastructure of Hamas. We will destroy Hamas because Hamas is a danger not only for the Israelis. Hamas is a big danger for the Palestinians also, because Hamas and the leaders of Hamas, they're using their people as a human shield. They hiding the leaders behind the civilians in Gaza Strip. They hiding themselves under the hospitals and the UNRWA sites and the schools and everywhere, in every civilian place. And last day, I think that one of the leaders of Hamas, he interviewed to the RT, Russia Today channel, and he said that the tunnels is to protect us, the leaders of Hamas, and the people, the civilians, they have the UN to protect them. Then that's define what is Hamas really.
Now, as a strategic consultant, you must be speaking to many Muslims in the Middle East. How are other Muslims feeling about what has happened here?
I want to ask these people, the other Muslims, if it is what the Islam tell us to do, if it's what Hamas did, it is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam recommended us to do, if it's written in the Quran, because what I know that written in the Quran that you can't kill innocent people. You can't kill babies. You can't kill anyone. You have to respect the other religions. Hamas, what Hamas did is contrary all of the humanity standards and all of the Islamic Sharia rules, and they are not Muslims. They only wearing the Islam flock, the Islam uniform, but they are is not Muslims. They are a barbarian, and I think that every Muslim that believe in God and believe in the Islamic Sharia have and should to condemn this barbarian attack against civilian people, against innocent people, against babies and women and old people.
What is the difference between the civilian population in Gaza and the West Bank and the civilian population in Israel?
I think that both sides, the civilian people in Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and also the Israeli civilian people, they are the victims of Hamas. They are the victims of the terror organizations. Because in Gaza Strip, Hamas using them as a human shield, and in Israel, Hamas targeting them when they shooting rockets to Israel. Hamas don't shooting rockets to the IDF bases. They shooting rockets to the towns and the villages and the people, the urban places that living there as civilian people. And I think that all of the civilian in the both sides, they are victims of this terror organization. Then I think that I've been in South Africa. I've been in a Wits campus, Wits University. So, and I heard there by protesters that supporting the Palestinian people from the river to the sea, Palestine would be free. I want to ask the South African people, when you hear this sentence again, you have to remember what happened in the October 7th. Because if from the river to the sea, it will be free from the Israelis, it will be controlled by Hamas. And Hamas will murder everyone that contrary them. Because that, if you hear it again, in your campuses and in your universities, you have to know that these people, they want Hamas to control and to occupating the whole area between the river and between the sea, and to murder and to kill the people there. Then you have to limit it. You have to stop this incitement protests against Israel and anti-Semitism protests against Israel.
As you know, apartheid, the word apartheid is in our daily vocabulary here. And Israel has also been accused of being an apartheid state. But have you ever experienced that to be so?
I have to say that I've been the strategic advisor for the Prime Minister, to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And which kind of apartheid that bring a Bedouin Muslim guy to be a strategic advisor to the Prime Minister? And we have at least 15 members of the Knesset. The Israeli parliament, they are members of the Knesset. And we have a high ranks generals in the army. They are Muslims. And we have a high officers in the police system. And we have a judge in the Supreme Court. They are Muslims and Christian. Which kind of apartheid it is in Israel? I think that sometimes and in some situations, the Arabs here, they have over democracy. And I will explain myself. We had some members of the Knesset, the Arab members of the Knesset, they incite against the IDF. They incite against the government in Israel above the podium of the Knesset, and nobody did anything for them. Nobody limited them to incite against the government and the IDF. We have Arabs in everywhere here. They can be anything they want. They can be anything that they dreams to be. then who is speaking about apartheid, I have a suggestion for them to look what's happening a few kilometers from Israel. What's happening in Syria? What's happening in Syria? We have apartheid of the Alawi family that controlling all of Syria, and we have millions, tens of millions of citizens there. What's happening in Lebanon? A small terror organization, Hezbollah, who is controlling Lebanon. What's happening in Iraq? What's happening in Iran? All of these countries that calling every day to destroy Israel. These countries, they're under extremist regimes that corrupted, and they support terror and they promoting terror. We have to look what happening there, and we have to look what happening in Gaza. Some of a few leaders of Hamas with billions of dollars, that they now staying in the Arab capitals and luxury hotels, and they dealing and selling the Arab blood, the Palestinians' blood, and who is under between the front lines and under the war is not this leadership, the Palestinian civilian, and some of them, they are in the Arab capitals, and the other in the tunnels under the hospitals.
Do you believe Hamas can be defeated?
We will destroy them. Israel will destroy Hamas. Absolutely, we will destroy them, because we can't live with this terror organization. We can't complete with the situation that we have a barbarian movement a few kilometers by us. We can't complete with this. We have to destroy the infrastructure of Hamas, and we will win.
Thank you. That was Mohammad Kabiya, a strategic consultant on the Middle East, speaking to BizNews. Thank you, Mohammad.
Thank you.